Here are 3 tips that I've learned to make me a faster runner. And this is true for all different types of fitness races that I've done: marathon, HYROX, 5K, doesn't matter what it is. Let's get into it. So if you're not familiar, I started running consistently and seriously 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. I followed plans before, followed them 100% to a T, but these are the things that I found that really actually helped to make me faster, and I put them into 3 different tips. First tip is that you need structure. The times I found that I wasn't really getting any more fit or I was plateauing was if I wasn't following any sort of training plan, or if I wasn't even really training for anything specific. And it was just like whatever I felt like I wanted to do, that's what I would do. But I found that I really built my fitness tremendously when I took a training plan seriously and followed it. I have even worked with coaches before, and that's something I really highly recommend, is to work with a running coach. Because like anything, a coach is gonna know some things that you don't, and you'll learn from it in the end. With that being said, every run has a purpose. And I'm gonna go into the different types of runs that you need to implement in a weekly basis. First, and this is honestly might be the most important because you're doing this the majority of the time, is your easy runs. And this is like 80% of your runs are supposed to be easy. And easy means you're running at a conversational pace and you're in zone 2, your zone 2 heart rate. There's a simple way to figure out what your max aerobic heart rate is, and that's to do 180 minus your age. So I'm 25, 180 minus 125 is 155, which means when you're on an easy run, an everyday easy run, heart rate should not go above 155 for me specifically. Second are tempo runs. This is good for threshold building. Tempo runs are like doing longer intervals at a pace that you're in your threshold heart rate zone. Basically means it's a pace, it's almost your half marathon pace or something you can hold for just like a little bit over an hour without redlining. So for me, like right now, I think my threshold pace is somewhere around 6 minutes per mile, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit less, I'm not sure. Definitely mixing in tempo runs is something that definitely has helped me with getting faster overall. Next one is interval work. This is like you go to the track and you do 400s, 200s, 100s, and maybe even 800s. So these are super important because you're doing these intervals at a lot faster than you are going to be for your race pace. And they're just shorter intervals. And it's good to get that leg turnover, to get your legs that used to that feeling of bringing your cadence super fast, getting good, efficient body mechanics while running, when the arms swing, foot strike, and things like that. So definitely important to do those intervals at a really fast pace to get that turnover. And lastly, long runs. This is the run that is crucial, especially for marathons or ultras. You need to do one of these a week. While it may not directly impact your speed in getting to become a faster and better runner, it's going to help the mental side of things, build your legs up stronger while you're out there for a longer time. For marathons, especially, the long run is super important, and building up that mileage on a weekend. It might be easier to kind of explain the differences between these runs on an effort, a rate of perceived exertion scale. Think about it like this: like an easy run should be between a 3 and 4 out of 10 effort, maybe even a 2. Like super easy, you're not breaking the bank, and you feel like you could do that forever, basically. Tempo runs, like high zone 3, low zone 4 runs should be probably like a 7 out of 10 effort, 7.5 out of 10 effort, maybe even 8. Intervals where you're running really fast, or sprints, you can think about them as sprints, that's like a 9 out of 10 effort while you're in those intervals, obviously. And then long runs can range, if you're doing a normal long run where you're just keeping the same slower pace, probably like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Otherwise, if you're in like a marathon long run workout, it could be an 8 out of 10 effort if you're going at race pace. So keep that in mind, just an easier way to think about the differences. Going back to what I said, first tip is that you need structure. Following a coach, using a training plan, whatever the case may be, you need to be able to hit these 4 types of runs on a weekly basis for months on end, and making sure that you're progressing over time, because you will become more fit and become faster as a result. My second tip, this one's super important because you run 80% of your runs at an easy pace. Run your easy runs easy. I know it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, obviously, but making sure that your rate of perceived exertion, RPE, is like a 3 or 4 out of 10. Making sure that you are keeping your heart rate, like, for sure below your max aerobic heart rate, but maybe even lower than that in low zone 2 effort. I found this to really help me. For example, like earlier this year in my HYROX prep, I made sure to keep my easy runs a lot easier than I have the past year and a half. And I just wouldn't let my heart rate get below 140. I basically kept my heart rate between 130 and 140 for my easy runs, every single easy run. And I found that it really helped to build my base, one, so that when I did a hard track workout or speed or tempo workout, I could do it at my absolute 100% best, and I wasn't fatigued because I took my easy runs too hard. So it really also helps to promote recovery as well, to make sure that when you have to do a hard workout, you can do it to your best ability. So that's tip number 2, is take your easy days, your easy runs easy. Last but not least, make sure that for whatever event you're training for, that you train at the pace that you want to race at. For example, when I attempted a sub 3 hour marathon a couple months ago, I made sure that I did lots of workouts at my marathon pace, which was between 6:45 and 6:50 to break 3 hours in the marathon. Because if you think about it, if you're only running slow on your easy days, and then you're running faster than marathon pace on your hard days, your body's not gonna, it might feel a little bit weird when you're running in the middle of those at your race pace. So just something to keep in mind. I found that this really helped in my sub 3 prep to get my body and my legs used to what that pace feels like. So it doesn't have to be for a marathon, it could be for HYROX, HYROX especially, because you need to do sims and training sessions at your race pace, because you need to know what that feels like and how your body's going to respond to the fatigue, and then your body will eventually adapt to it. So that's just another thing to think about. So these are 3 things that are super simple. Like, you could just look these up, but I'm very, very confident that if these are implemented properly, like, that's how you become faster and a better runner overall. Anyway, there's obviously so much else that goes into running and training and training plans and things like that, but I felt like this was just kind of scratching the surface. If you have questions, or you can make comments or message me on Instagram or whatever you need to. I also coach and I do training plans for people. If you're interested in, just let me know. We can put a plan together, and and get going. I hope that you have found these tips useful and that you are able to implement them if you haven't already, or learned at least something new that you could take out of it. Thanks for watching. I will continue to post more training videos. I'm going to be signing up for a new race. More info to come. See you later.